Hello, word enthusiasts, and welcome back to Hello Word. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm thrilled to have you join me for another exciting exploration of the English language. Today, we're diving into a word that's essential for expressing, well, differences. Our word of the day is contrast. It's a B1 level noun, and it means the state of being strikingly different from something else in juxtaposition or close association. Basically, contrast is all about highlighting the difference between things. We use contrast to make things stand out, to show how things are not the same. Think of black and white, hot and cold, that's contrast. Now, let's break down how we can use contrast in our everyday language. You might say, the contrast between her dark hair and pale skin was striking. See how it shows a noticeable difference? Let's explore some synonyms for contrast. A very similar word is difference itself. You could say, there's a clear difference between apples and oranges. Another synonym is disparity, which emphasizes a more significant or unfair difference. For example, the disparity in wealth between the rich and poor is growing. Then we have distinction, which focuses on identifying a clear and specific difference. There's a clear distinction between right and wrong. And finally, divergence, highlighting the point at which things start to move apart or become different. The divergence in their opinions led to an argument. Okay, so we know what contrast means and some words that are similar. What about words that mean the opposite? Let's look at some antonyms. The first and perhaps most obvious is similarity. You could say, there's a surprising similarity between their paintings. Then we have agreement, which highlights the point where things are in accordance. There was a general agreement on the proposed solution. Another useful antonym is sameness, implying a lack of difference. The sameness of the houses in the development was quite boring. We can also use uniformity, which emphasizes a consistent and unchanging state. The uniformity of the soldiers' attire was impressive. And last, accord, meaning agreement or harmony, is an antonym such as they were in accord on the matter. So, how can you use contrast in your everyday life? Well, you might say, the contrast in flavors between the sweet sauce and spicy meat was delicious. Or I noticed a big contrast in the city between the old buildings and the new skyscrapers. Also, if you're talking about photos, the photographer played with light and shadow to create dramatic contrast. Here are some more usage examples. The museum highlighted the contrast between ancient and modern art. The contrast in her behavior before and after the accident was noticeable. The author used contrast to emphasize the characters' opposing personalities. The contrast between the sunny beach and the dark forest was breathtaking. The political debate focused on the contrast between the two candidates' policies. The contrast in living conditions between urban and rural areas is significant. He highlighted the contrast between his previous failures and his recent success. The movie explored the contrast between love and hate. The contrast in the painting made it visually interesting. The chef focused on creating dishes with interesting flavor contrasts. I hope that helps you understand what contrast means. To recap, contrast is a B1 level noun that describes the state of being strikingly different. We looked at synonyms like difference, disparity, distinction, and divergence, and antonyms like similarity, agreement, sameness, uniformity, and accord. We also explored real-life examples of how to use this important word. Thank you for tuning in to Hello Word. I hope you enjoyed learning about contrast as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. And now for our call to action. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your support helps others discover the show and expand their English vocabulary too. Also, I encourage you to create your own sentence using the word contrast and share it in the comments below. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Until next time, keep exploring the wonderful world of words.